Now inside this bag is the Mavic 3 Pro. And inside this bag is the brand new Mavic 4 Pro. One of my personal favorite upgrades is not necessarily something you see on the spec sheet, but something you will definitely notice every single time you actually go and use the drone, which is how long and tedious is the process of getting the drone out of the bag, booted up, set up, and into the air. I don't know, maybe it's just my impatience or laziness, but the less painful it is to use something, the more often I'm going to use it. Now, if you were paying close attention, you may have noticed a few details that gave the Mavic 4 Pro the victory, while the Mavic 3 Pro is still fiddling with those thumbstick screw things. Something I've been complaining about forever.
Instead of having to screw and unscrew your thumbsticks in, I wish that it could just fold in itself. This controller, ooh, okay, dang, it's just a big old screen. So how's this work? Does it, okay, it flips up and, oh, you like how it just turned on without me pressing and doing the tap and hold? I just gotta go through this setup here, but dang, this is a chunky screen. I like that. Wait a second. I did not install these. This. Now we're talking. I go down, and so does the thumbsticks. Oh, thank you.
Now you may have also noticed that I didn't actually have to power on the drone.
When you unfold the legs, it automatically boots up.
That's cool.
Like at first it kind of surprised me, but now it's like, oh, that's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I would much rather have that.
Just a little bit faster when you're out in the field.
One less step.
Yes.
It turns on automatically too.
It turned on. I didn't press the button on nothing.
So you just folded the legs out and turned on?
It turns on.
How do you turn it off? The same way?
So by default, you have to turn it off the normal way.
Okay.
But I turned on the
click and
setting
hold.
where it should just turn off when you collapse it.
Okay.
So that's a setting, it's an option.
Okay.
Now, even though DJI has been one of my favorite sponsors, they've always allowed me to talk about the things I love about their stuff as well as the limitations I find, as long as it's accurate. So after we're done with all our tests and flights and comparisons, I will let you know what my favorite and least favorite thing about this Mavic 4 Pro is. All right, so now to the good stuff. We have 3 cameras, just like we did before, a wide angle, a mid, and a telephoto, and we have solid upgrades to all 3 of them. So first of all, D-Log across the whole board, not just D-Log M, but D-Log, full-on D-Log. And when the Mavic 3 came out 2 years ago, I felt like it was very exciting at the time because it gave us a really good wide-angle lens, but it really just gave a lot of us a taste of what telephoto lenses can do out of a drone. But when it first came out, it had a lot of limitations. But now the super telephoto is, I would say, very usable. I mean, it's full D-Log, it has the frame rates I want. We also have a larger sensor in the super telephoto. It's a 1/1.5 inch sensor. You do the math, I mean, it's much bigger than the half-inch sensor that used to be in here, and it's not quite as large as the 1/1.3 inch sensor that we see in the mid lens, but the fact that I can finally really comfortably use the super telephoto out of this Mavic 4 Pro is awesome. Our first side-by-side here.
Yours is sharper. That's
Yeah.
what I'm noticing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I'm
way
noticing.
cleaner.
Yeah,
of an
cleaner
image.
image, yeah.
Let's do a 5X. Yeah, way more details on the pants. Like your beard, for example. I can see your facial hair on the 4, but on the 3, it's like,
It's mushy.
just all 3 cameras gotten an upgrade. But the super telephoto is probably the one I'm most excited about because I've been wanting to use that lens for so long, but it's just never quite clear enough. It's never quite crisp enough. But that being said, the wide angle having an f2.0 lens opposed to your f2.8 is a nice upgrade as well.
So Mavic 3 Pro is maxed out on its low light right now, but Mavic 4 Pro, I can go ahead and just open up that lens to f2.0, and that already gives me a lot more low light. But also I could go up to ISO 3200, look at that. Whew, and I could even go further, 6400.
Oh, gee.
That's crazy, huh?
That's awesome.
Look at that low light difference.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's actually incredible low light. Can you see how dark it is outside on the camera? It's like this makes it look bright outside.
Crazy.
I could see your face in the vehicle.
Oh yeah. This is with our mid-range lenses.
I see more lens flare on the 3.
Maybe I just have a hood that cuts a little bit earlier.
Or just the glass is higher quality glass over here.
These are just theories, we don't actually know. More dynamic range too. We had perfectly matched exposure settings, and look, you're already clipping here on the mountain. So the mid lens is 70 millimeters on both of our lenses.
okay.
But what's interesting is on the controller, for you it shows up as a 3x lens, but for me it shows up as a 2.5x. And the reason for that is because my wide angle lens is a little bit tighter in than yours. So my wide angle is a 28.
Mine is a 24.
Right.
It's measuring it off of that.
Exactly.
So I have a 100 megapixel mode.
100 megapixel mode.
I'm actually kind of surprised that the 100 megapixel has a RAW with it. It's a DNG file. 111 megabytes for one photo. That's good. Let's go 10x, like full extreme.
I mean,
Better.
it is sharper. It is better.
I get more detail here in the snow.
It's sharper.
Trees also.
Do you have different modes in terms of resolutions or anything?
I have mode called low battery.
We just took off at the same exact time,
Yeah,
right?
pretty much.
You're at 17% now. I'm at 45 still.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and we've been doing the same exact fight.
And we've been out here for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
I got active track for birds now.
What? Is that a bird
What
icon?
kind of bird? Yeah, it knows it's a bird.
Now we're talking. Oh.
Oh yeah, like how it dives down like that, like that's hard to track. I think I should do some 4K 60 here.
That's so cool. Frank, oh my gosh, look at this.
Oh geez. The sun is red right now, it's blasting the puck. Look at that, oh, look at this tracking though. That's pretty impressive, huh?
That's very
Oh
impressive.
dang, it literally, we just lost the sun on it.
Tell it to go up higher.
Because it was just hovering there. It was not.
I thought that was you.
Yeah, that was crazy because it was just standstill, but it must have just been flying against the wind and it's just like perfectly still.
Oh, if I could get the bird with the moon with the background.
Dude.
So I've actually used this bird mode before. Flashback to my very first flight.
It's got a boat icon. That's insane.
But look at this.
Oh, snap. Was it like tracking all of them for a moment?
When you see the plus, it's like, which one of these do you want to select? So then you could just toggle between the different ones. Honestly, I was really impressed because just look how hard it is to see the birds, even with your eyes. Now, in this situation, the active track was definitely losing it. I had to keep grabbing it, but that's to be expected. I mean, considering how hard it is to even see with your eyes,
Yeah,
right?
because of the environment.
Like, look at this parking lot. The tracking is really responsive, but I almost want to say here, it's a little bit too responsive because a bird is not moving at a super steady speed, right? It's like every time it flaps its wing, it moves a little bit. You could actually see that translating in the camera a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So it tells you how responsive this thing is, but it's almost too responsive in this case. So maybe that's just like an algorithm adjustment where they just like dampen it slightly. Have you noticed how much I was trusting the sensors?
Yeah, way too much.
So basically these sensors require almost no light for the obstacle avoidance sensors. They call them like, I think it was 0.1 lux vision sensors or something like that. And I've already taken it on a ride through foresty area, which is honestly like probably the hardest type of terrain for a drone to track, right? Like if we're on a dry lake bed, that's easy. But places like this is pretty tough. It has what, like 4 times more information of its surroundings with the vision sensors than like I think the Air 3S even. So it's going to be better at detecting more things. I had it just tracking me through some of the sketchiest looking tree branches. Like look at that. A lot of phantom branches, right? But I was just kind of trusting that it would see it. That would be devastating to have already crashed this.
Oh, here we go. Gee.
Yeah, I know. It's scary to look at this footage. I was kind of testing out the active track here to see how well it could kind of follow and stay up with me. I mean, that's pretty impressive how it kind of navigated there, right? But you could see anytime something gets in between me and the drone, it has to start searching again. In a situation like this, it's not like you could just like have it track you and then just forget it's there and just do your thing, or else you might realize it got stuck somewhere, right? But it's definitely way better at reacquiring you. And I think that's along the same lines of what we saw earlier with the birds, where it can just kind of see everything. It can re-find you pretty easily. All right, so on Instagram, I've asked all of you for questions, and let's see if I can answer any of these. Photo Juice asks, how much noise does it make? Well, I'm pretty sure that's what this number here is 83 dB. So I think from a technical standpoint, it's a tiny bit louder than the previous Mavic 3 Pro, but honestly, all of us thought it was a lot quieter, and I think it's just because it's just a much deeper tone. It's more like a hum rather than like a buzz.
Ooh, that felt nice.
It's heavier, but it's not necessarily louder, I feel.
Well, bigger props makes lesser noise.
And the shape of it's different
Different,
too.
a lot different. It has more of a pitch to it.
Now Josh asks, does the camera spin 360 or something? Yeah, so they have something called the infinity gimbal on here now. Kind of fun, but it is important to know that as you roll the camera into different positions, there are limitations to how much you can tilt based on how much you roll.
So look right here, right there. See this green dot right here? Now notice as I roll the camera, that kind of shrinks down. So notice that as I'm 90 degrees sideways, I really only have a few degrees of tilt angle that I have. And then as I go fully upside down, I get my full range back. So it does kind of let you know how much tilting motion that you have capable to you. So as you can see, we are all the way maxed out at minus 400 right now. And then I think I could actually just hit this and it'll fully reset me. Then that's my other limit, minus 40 degrees.
Sammy, look at this.
What?
Oh,
It spins this too.
oh, it does. So when you want
When
to go
you
into
spin
vertical,
this,
That's pretty.
9 by 16.
So here's vertical right here. So my max tilt down, I get about 11 degrees downward, and then I could get around the same upward. Now I'm on the wide angle. Does it change at all? No, it's about the same, about 10 to 11 degrees. So there's this mode here, which is a 4K vertical mode where it gives me the frame guides, but I have full tilt capability all the way down to 90 degrees. How much can I go up in this mode? Oh, oh, that's pretty good.
Okay, so
What is that? 70 degrees
70
upward tilt.
Roman the Explorer asks dynamic range. How does the image look compared to the Mavic 3? So according to the spec sheet, it says 16 stops of dynamic range for the wide, 14 stops for the mid, and 13 stops for the tight. Molto Leonard says, why do they keep using small sensors and fixed iris for the zoom cameras? I gotta assume it's because of weight. When you go bigger on the sensor and you want a telephoto, that's gonna get bigger, especially if you want it to still be fast, then it's gotta get way bigger. So I don't know, I think they're just balancing weight and size. That's my guess at least. Andy King Photo says, will there be vertical video with all the lenses? Yes, absolutely, because when you turn the whole gimbal over to the side, it all turns. And look at that, rotation right there. Skimboard Man asks, how much flight time off of one battery? Technically, it says 51 minutes on the spec sheet, but no one actually flies in these perfect environments and runs the battery down to 0. For me personally, I have gotten about roughly 33 minutes is kind of my average before it gets to about 20%. That's when I land it. And I know that doesn't sound like much when you compare it to the spec sheet that says 51 minutes, but I am always doing a mix of some slow, stable flying as well as some sport mode, 55 miles per hour, and then filming the whole time. So I am aggressive on my batteries and I'm still getting 33 minutes before even the warning comes up. So that's honestly really good. Manny says ND filters. Yeah, I personally don't have ND filters yet. So all this footage that I shot have not had ND filters yet, but I believe this just rotates off and you can just slap ND filters on. I just am still waiting for those, but that will definitely help with making things a lot more cinematic. Brad in Real Life says, do all lenses have matching res and log? So yeah, we already talked about how all of these have log, but the wide angle on here has 6K now, 6K 60, or you could go to 4K 120. It does crop it a little bit at 4K 120. Unknown Combo asks, what's the pricing? In the top, we have the basic combo, the Fly More combo, which of course has like the extra batteries and extra goodies. But this has been the creator combo that we've been testing, which has this nice fancy RC2 Pro controller, but also there's some differences in the drone too. So kind of like the previous version where there was the one version that had the terabyte built in and ProRes. It's kind of like that where this version has 512 gigs of built-in SSD storage, but also a codec, which is all-I, the intra-frame codec, so denser file that's better for more professional level stuff. But honestly, a lot of what I shot was H.265, just because I think that's what a majority of people are going to get. And C. Benfi asks, is ProRes not gonna be a thing anymore? So yeah, no more ProRes in the drone, which I think some people may be sad about, but I do know that the Complex Aereo guys who do a lot of very high-end professional work, Sammy and Josh, they were a bit disappointed.
One biggest thing is kind of think like, because it doesn't have ProRes and a lot of people like the ProRes feature.
Yeah.
They might feel like, oh, no ProRes, no money.
But they were very happy when they saw the full-size HDMI coming out of the bottom of this controller.
Josh, the full HDMI out.
Really?
Not like that little micro one again.
That's incredible.
God.
Do you guys ever use active tracker now?
No, just mainly just because it would come out of ProRes,
So
and then you
So
can't-
that's the thing.
you
So
can't do
if
it.
can you use all those features like active track and like orbiting and all that and still get the same quality?
Well, you're in all eye right now, right? So you're in the high quality mode. Yeah, focus track enabled.
Okay, so you know how good that's gonna be? You can still shoot high quality and cheat some shots.
In the Mavic 3, you guys never used any of the smart
No,
features
because you lose the quality of ProRes and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, of course, there's Spotlight and Active Track. So Spotlight is available on all 3 cameras and basically just frames the camera for you. So all you have to really worry about is maneuvering the drone, right? But in Spotlight mode, the drone will not actually move without you giving it some input, right? Now, there's Active Track where the drone will actually fly itself and chase you around the block. That feature is available on the wide and the mid, but it is not available on the tightest lens. I do remember being pretty impressed with the minimum focus distance of that super tight. We also get a few improvements in speed, raced Frank and his Mavic 3 Pro, and we've always won. In normal mode, where all the sensors are turned on, I was able to hit 40 miles per hour in a wide open space. So better sensors means that they can work even when the drone is flying faster. And even flying backwards, I was able to hit 40 miles per hour. And in sport mode, of course, a lot of it has to do with wind, but I was able to hit like 55, and also how fast the batteries charge. So you can fully charge one battery from 0 in, it says 43 minutes, and all 3 in 90 minutes. But I was also happy to see that I can just plug like my laptop charger straight into the USB-C, and I was able to fully charge a battery that way. So if you're just trying to pack ultra light. All right, so now it is time for my favorite and least favorite thing about the Mavic 4 Pro. It's honestly hard to kind of just pick one thing because there's so many improvements with the camera, with the aircraft, the workflow, everything. But if I could only choose one thing, I would say I really loved using the smart tracking feature with the ultra tight lens. It just kind of felt like cheating on how easy it was to make something look really epic with that super compression, with that super tight lens. I know I'm gonna like the quality of the footage, you know, it's gonna be in D-Log, and I'm also less stressed about crashing because of the upgraded obstacle avoidance sensors in all directions. It's effortless and the footage just looks so good. Now, my least favorite feature with the Mavic 4 Pro is there's still not a great way to record good quality audio and sync it up with the drone. And even as something as simple as time code built in would be such tremendous help. And even their little Action 5 Pro and the Pocket 3 that has a basic form of time code. Now there is actually a fun feature now where there is a microphone built into the controller, and that basically will send a little audio file to the drone itself. But the downside of it is it sounds like this.
I guess it's kind of cool that I can like narrate my flights.
Yeah, something different, something more options.
Yeah.
There's also a way to pair the DJI Bluetooth mic onto the controller and then transmit the audio there. But here's how that sounds.
I basically pair the DJI mic into the controller, which will then transmit the audio files to the drone. Kind of cool, huh? But here's the downside. The sound quality is kind of like meh.
But at least on the bright side, I could look at the audio recorded on the controller as kind of reference audio, so it'll make it easier for me to sync to my master audio at least. So there is that. I do love that DJI is at least thinking about audio going to the drone. Honestly, that's like, I think one of the big things I'm really kind of hoping for, or time code, because then I could just, overall, really happy with the image quality out of all 3 cameras. The D-Log saves the day. The aircraft just flies better. The workflow, man, oh, I love just how fast I can just boot it up and just go this leg. Turns out it's just this one leg that I have to unfold for it to boot up. So this is the secret leg to power on and power back off. It takes about 8 seconds for this to power off. So that's the amount of time I have left where you can like kind of click on things, links in description and stuff like that. And yeah.